Well, here's part 2 of the video. This is going to be the archway going around the tub, or over the tub, I guess. Right here in this part of the video, I'm just cutting the floor. So we took up what we could of the old floor. We took up a bunch of the maple boards. We ripped all those out. And then to make the floor level, so the way we wanted to do it was when you have the tile and the thin set, and then whatever substrate underneath, and then the subboard, the main subfloor underneath that. We wanted everything stacked up to be the same level as the floor in the hallway. So after I got down to the subfloor, we had about a half an inch thickness difference. And so when you add up all the different thicknesses that you need, so we put this plywood in to make up the difference. So now, after we tile this plywood, we'll put leveler on top of it, and then we'll tile on top of that. And then once we do that, it should be level with the floor in the hallway. We're also going to put a marble strip in the doorway there. Here I am just cutting out the hole for the toilet. I ended up moving, because of the new archway wall that I'm going to build over the tub, I ended up having to move the toilet over, it was like 2 inches or 2.5 inches or something, just to keep it centered between the wall, between each wall, the wall at the tub and then the wall at the door. Here I am starting to lay out the archway. So I'm using another 1/2 inch piece of plywood, and I'm just laying out each arch. I'm going to put a piece of plywood in the front and in the back of that, on each side of that wall over the tub, just so I can attach sheetrock and everything, and so it'll be sturdy. And I'm literally building the entire arc of that wall will be with this plywood. And then I just clamped them all together and just tried to make them all as even and equal as possible, so that the idea was the arc. I wanted that arc to look as uniform as possible, obviously. And then here I am starting to build the actual wall at the tub. I've got lines on the wall where the 2x4s are going to go to make sure that they're going to be level. I've already pre-drawn lines just to keep everything as level as possible. This is the point where you wish you had a friend that would help you hold one board while you put in another one. That was perfect. I'm just trying to decide if I've got it laid out right. Making sure I know what I'm doing before I start nailing everything together. I drew up all my plans and I kept my plans with me the whole time. Upper 2x4 there, it's got I cut it down 1/2 inch short on each side. So overall an inch shorter in width than an actual 2x4, just so my plywood would be flush with the framing. So when you put the sheetrock on, everything is completely flush across the face and back of that wall. So as you can see here, you know, that plywood is totally flush with that 2x4 that's behind it. Here I'm laying in like a skeleton framing. I don't know what you want to call it. The in-between boards, in between all the plywood. They're about 1.5 inches wide, I think. Or, you know, when you're looking at this from the left side to the right side, they're about 1.5 inches, and then whatever the depth is between the pieces of plywood front to back. And then I just spaced them about the same 1.5 inches between them. And I don't know if that was the way to go or not. The way I did it. I figured try to get as many in there as possible, but also not stuff so many in there that it's not round anymore, I guess. So I just lined up everything to make sure my right side would be in the right spot with my left side. And then here I am putting in the in-between board in again, and then just sticking on some plywood. So eventually here I get done, and then after this archway is built, I think the next move is I'm gonna work on rebuilding the door. So that whole wall in front that you see there, where you see the darker wood out in front of this archway, that's the wall going into the room, into the bathroom. I end up pulling all that down and rebuilding all that for a pocket door. And I think that's probably the next video. I'm not really sure. I'm not editing these. My son's doing it, so I don't know what one he's doing in which order. But there you go. I mean, there it is. There's a finished archway. That's how it looks. I end up doing more framing inside, but there you go. So thanks for looking, and stay tuned for the next one.